Hello friends, it's Terry with Terry's Mailbox, and today I'm presenting for the Funky Junkie Boutique. When I saw the road trip colorize, I knew that Twig and Stump needed to take a road trip. So that's what we're doing today, is they're going to take a little road trip with their friends Chili and Freezy. So the first thing I did was I cut out the distress watercolor paper to fit on an etc. tag, and now I'm going to my favorite technique of ink smooshing. So again, just kind of putting down weathered wood, speckled egg, and tumbled glass on my craft mat. And then I'm going to go ahead and spray the watercolor tag first, because that will make the ink really travel and disperse. So for this first layer, I really wanted it to kind of look like clouds. That's kind of what I'm going for. Obviously, I'm going to have the cars in front and they're going to be outdoors. So I wanted a cloud type look. So after getting that first layer dry, I'm going to go ahead and tap it back into some of the ink drops and then dry. Again, it's a process of dipping and drying. You may see a red arrow at the lower right-hand corner. I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel. I do a lot with Tim Holtz. I also love floral dies, stamps, etc. So I do try to post fairly frequently. So here is that road trip car, and again, you can see it's quite a few layers. I was kind of surprised. But again, once I started putting it together, it made perfect sense. So again, I'm going to grab my needle nose glue applicator, and I'm going to go ahead and just apply dots and lines here all over the layers of the car to attach them. And again, I didn't go through die cutting all the pieces. I'm not going through showing you how I put all the snowmen together, etc. Because again, I wanted to focus more on decisions made as far as what the tag looked like and putting it together. So again, then I added that second layer, and you can see here I'm kind of pressing them together between my fingers to get good adherence. So the next layer is going to be the black layer, and then the next one is that dark blue. So you can see I've jumped over and I've got the dark blue one on there. And now I'm going to go ahead and put that lighter blue highlight, which goes on the top. These were really pretty easy to put together. Again, they've got the bumpers, front and back bumpers. They've got the windows. They've got the tires. Again, it was pretty obvious how these guys all went together. So the next thing I'm doing is grabbing those light blue highlights, and again, I'm going to add my glue there and get those attached there to the top of the car. And you'll see at one point, in like the last piece maybe, I picked up my tweezers and finally got smart and decided to pick the tweezers up, because otherwise my fingers were getting all gluey, which doesn't help when you're trying to put together these kinds of scenes. So again, I'd encourage you to check out the Funky Junkie Boutique blog. Again, we have several designers, and we post new things each couple times a month, actually, which is a lot of fun, different themes and things. And we have then challenges that you can join in on. So again, that info's out on the blog, the Funky Junkie Boutique. So again, here I'm just finishing up getting the highlight. So there's the blue car. And then I'll show you the dies I use. So there's that road trip. And again, I decided only to use the car. This is Tall Pines. Here's Freezy and Chili, which was from Simon Says Stamp in December. And the last was Twig and Stump. So you can see I've got all my pieces as parts cut out here. And I'm now just kind of playing with arrangements. So I've obviously got a green car. And then I also have a blue car. So I'm going to put Twig in the first car and Stump in the second. So I kind of thought of them as a snowman family, is kind of how I looked at them. So that's how they're going to go in. And you can see that Twig is too tall, so his head's going to poke up through the moonroof. So right now I'm just kind of playing with the branches. I've got a bunch of branches laying in a pile there. And again, I tend to compartmentalize craft like Tim suggests. Again, once you've got all these dies out and you got your colors, you may as well cut several. I did only do 2 cars today, but we'll go back and do more later. So you can see that I've trimmed Twig because this isn't a Flintstone car, so I didn't want him hanging out the bottom, so I trimmed him. And then I used my Collage Medium to attach the smaller snowman to Twig, and then I'm going to go ahead and add Collage Medium again to attach the car to the snowman. And I really only needed to apply the Collage Medium to the little snowman because the Twig is so far behind. And then I'm grabbing my clothespins. I tend to use clothespins if I want, to hold things in place until they dry. So the next thing I have is that I've got Stump out here. And you can't really see it here, but I did use the new wood grain cardstock that kind of has gray lines on it that just recently came out. I used that for my snowman to give them some texture. I thought that was kind of a fun idea. I've seen several makers have done that. So here we are. I'm adding, again, Collage Medium to the little guy to attach him to Stump, and then I'm adding the car. And then same thing goes. There I am with my clothespin. And then we'll add more glue to the top there. And I'll stick a clip on there. And then we'll set those aside after we figure out the branch arms. So again, they both have to have arms so they can drive the car. So we're gonna kind of play around with the different configurations. There's, crooked arms, there's straight long arms, there's short ones. Again, because I cut these all out and kind of put them aside in a little plastic bin from Stampin' Storage. It's actually what I use. It's got little deep bin type things that are all attached together, and you can trim those down. So that's what I use. So again, just here kind of playing with attaching the arms. So we'll go ahead and put one coming from behind, and then we'll put one on front. I was really more worried about making arms for the big guys who were driving the car rather than for the little short ones. So again, fun colors, just really had a blast putting these all together. I love the bright colors on the hats and the scarves, and it was just fun. So the next thing I'm going to do is attach the watercolor piece to the collage, or to the etc. tag, excuse me, and you'll see when I pull that piece up that I did tear a piece of white cardstock to kind of make a snowy road. So this is going to be kind of my winter house decor piece. I'm obviously on a roll. This is my second year doing this, and I'm just have all kinds of etc. tags for just about every occasion you could think of. So once I've got that all attached, I'm going to actually turn it upside down and put something heavy on it, just like I've got it sitting there, so that it gets attached well. Next thing is making the quote chip. So this is Embrace the Journey. So what I'm doing is using my embossing dauber and covering it. And then I'm going to cover it with Prize Ribbon Embossing Glaze. And the cool thing about this glaze, I'm obviously using a very dark color, but because it is translucent, it all shows through. So there I'm holding it with the tweezers. You'll see here towards the end that it does flip out of my tweezers, but and I was able to fix the little damage piece here. Again, it's supposed to look grungy, right? So again, kind of getting it getting it all fixed up here. Too much fun, just too much fun. So now I pulled out my Foundry wax in sterling. I love to play with this stuff. So again, I just use my fingers, kind of putting it on the edge here. Very randomly, just, not neat. Again, we're going for just kind of the, old grungy looking thing. So we'll go ahead and set that down, and then I'll pull out my heat gun again and go ahead and dry it, and go like using my poker there to hold on to it so it doesn't blow all over the place. But again, I'm just kind of heat drying it. And again, it's really cool to watch this stuff work. I mean, it just, it kind of goes on in a matte finish, and then once you heat it up, it really has a great shine to it. So now, next thing I'm going to do is start working on putting the tag together. So I pulled out my pumice stone ink, and I'm just using the little foam applicator to go around the edges. Again, I can't look too clean here, guys. I also use the pumice stone on the edges of the snowmen as well. So, you might pick that up in the end. So here I'm going to go ahead and start assembling the tag. So I'm just kind of gluing those tall pines using my white glue again with the needle nose applicator. So I love all these nature dies that Tim has put out. Just lots of really cool dies. So again, I'm going to go ahead and flip that over. I use this one quite a bit. I just recently found this and was able to buy it, but I think it's one of the more useful ones for background pieces. So again, I use my paper towel just to kind of soak up the extra glue. And then we'll go ahead and attach the Embrace the Journey on the top. And then now I'm going to start playing with my placement here. So again, I want the blue car up front, just to kind of, I love blue. I'm a cool colors girl. So I'm using my collage medium again to attach that Embrace the Journey quote up at the top. And then we'll go ahead and start playing with the attaching the snowmen and the cars. And so I decided I needed, just because of the way they were made, like those snowmen are pretty thick, and so I felt like I needed to add some foam tape to the back to pop the car up. So that's kind of what I'm working on now, is popping the car up. And then I ended up, twig, I'll go ahead and add collage medium there at the top, but I needed to add, in the end, another little piece of foam tape underneath the small snowman, because he was kind of popped up there. Again, you just got to make decisions as you're rolling. So again, we'll go ahead and stick my infamous clip on there, and then we'll go ahead and move on. And here I'm sticking a little piece of foam tape underneath the little small snowman. I wanted it to lay flat, so. And then we'll go ahead and start working on the blue car. Now the blue car, because it was sitting on top of the green car, really needs to be popped up. So that's what you see me doing here, is I added additional foam tape. And again, I had to kind of calculate, on the one on the right-hand side is the front of the car. So you can see I didn't need to add any foam tape there, but at the back, I needed to make sure that it was even. Added a little bit of glue to the foam tape anyway, just to make sure that it adheres properly. And so again, I've got everything together here. So there is my tag. We're going to let it dry a little bit. And so again, here's a photo of the tag again. Again, it's Terry with Terry's Mailbox. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Have a great day.